somebody like this, you would go, problem, this is not good. So you look out for things like that. You want the body to work in as natural a configuration as possible. So, that starts off with your feet. So children, all stand up to your feet.
Take your
Now, how many of you have learned rest position with your feet together? Okay. So that's not necessarily bad, but I just find that it's not normal. When you're resting and you're normal, you stand with your feet about shoulder width apart. You'll never see a professional violinist walk out and go, feet together. They never do that. It would be weird. And so I don't know why they have kids do that. I think, what else is so I always teach just shoulder width apart. They need to be straight, not cocked, no ballet positions. Just, can everybody do this? Just straight, feet ahead. Now turn your left foot to about 10 o'clock.
left foot. Put your feet together and then your left foot.
Sometimes the foot will come a little bit back. Sometimes a little bit forward, just depending upon what's easy. This is the foot position. Because when the child puts the instrument into position, the violin should be in line with the foot. So when I go into position, you see how my violin stretches directly under my nose, over my foot. So everybody come up into position, and parents, if you have to fix your child, you can fix it. I know that right now we're kind of working in mirror images here.
Caitlin, is your
So Rosemary,
violin lined up with your foot?
because you are in perfect position. You reestablish where you were. So turn this a little bit. Yeah, that's about perfect. So you can see how on Rosemary, she's got this instrument basically right over her foot, right here, and it creates a long line. Now, when I first started Suzuki, my teacher had me, this was rest position, and then we did step 2, and then we did step 3. So if you look at my book 1 recital, I played with my feet this way and my instrument way out here, which accounts for much of my chiropractic bills now. Because you can see what happens if the feet are straight forward and you turn, you have the twist. Or how many of you have seen this? Your kid is like this and you say, lift your scroll, and they go, this thing. It's like the torso. What's up? So what you're trying to do is create in their feet a position in which they can physically put their instrument up but be in one long line with their body. Their shoulders are open and not rounded out. That's good, John Mark. That's exactly it. Now, from here, you need to think about where the instrument itself is placed. Everybody see this little button here on the bottom of your violin? Little button?
Yeah.
This button should go like right here. Okay? Kind of, you can feel everybody feel your little Adam's apple place? I guess I don't have one, supposedly. Don't have one. But right over here beside it, kind of between the ligaments, that's where that button should go. So it's like the middle part of your violin.
Do you see that, Caitlin? Caitlin, do you see where?
So that little button part is kind of going right there. So that your head is kind of sitting over almost the middle of the violin. Not quite directly center, but a little over the middle. That makes sense? So that when the child is up in position, you've got feet here, you have the violin coming over the foot, the shoulders are open, the scroll is straight out under the nose of the child. Because, anybody know why this is important, or why is this better than this?
Your head
So
is...
look again. So we've got this,
Your head.
Now, if in both scenarios the scroll is straight, it's not droopy, why do you think, Maddie? Well, it's a good guess, but that's not it. George?
Yeah. You get a crick in your neck?
No, it was a good guess.